If you're out there and you have been victimized, you are not alone. There is a great strength in numbers. You can seek redress. You can obtain justice. We can help you, and we will help you.
Some of the biggest celebrities in the world knew about shocking secrets involving Diddy and a 9-year-old. A lawyer has just dropped bombshell accusations openly naming stars who allegedly stood by and watched that. This revelation could shake Hollywood to its core. Curious? Sean Diddy Combs, a music mogul who's been a household name for decades, is now facing shocking allegations. It's hard to wrap your head around, isn't it? How could someone so successful, so powerful, be involved in something like this? The claims aren't just about bad behavior or business deals gone wrong. They're about alleged exploitation and abuse involving minors no less, at the very heart of his lavish lifestyle. We've all seen how scandals can erupt in the entertainment world. There's no shortage of stories where celebrities find themselves at the center of serious allegations, but this one, it feels different. The accusations against Diddy include disturbing stories of misconduct, exploitation, and worse, claims that some victims were as young as 9 years old. Let's break this down and try to make sense of what's going on, from the legal implications to the reasons these allegations might be coming to light now, years after they allegedly took place. So what exactly is Diddy being accused of? According to attorney Tony Busby, who's become a well-known figure in high-profile cases, Diddy's actions involve far more than just a few isolated incidents. In a bombshell press conference, Busby shared that he represents over 120 individuals who claim to have been victimized by Diddy. But here's the kicker: these 120 victims are just the beginning. His office reportedly received more than 3,000 calls in just 2 weeks, all from people alleging that they too were mistreated by the music mogul. Among these claims, about 25 of the individuals were minors at the time the alleged abuse case occurred, and the youngest victim was reportedly just 9 years old. Let that sink in for a moment. A man who's been a constant presence in the music industry for decades, someone who's built a career on creating hits and throwing wild parties, is now at the center of allegations involving minors. These accusations don't just stop at sexual assault. They also involve coercion, drugging, and exploitation. Victims claim they were invited to parties hosted by Diddy, often under the guise of career mentorship or opportunities, only to be drugged or taken advantage of when they were most vulnerable. These parties, held at luxury hotels, private residences, and even Diddy's own homes, were said to be notorious for their after-hours debauchery involving not just Diddy, but other high-profile individuals in the industry. But why are we hearing about these allegations now after so many years? This is a question that often comes up when scandals like this break. It's easy to wonder why victims didn't speak up earlier, why they stayed silent for so long. The truth is, there are many reasons why someone might not feel safe or supported enough to come forward. Victims of powerful individuals, especially someone as influential as Diddy, might fear being disbelieved or blacklisted from the industry altogether. They could have been threatened or felt powerless against such a giant figure in entertainment. It's also important to remember the impact of movements like #MeToo, which has empowered many victims to come forward after years or even decades of silence. Before this cultural shift, it was much harder for victims to be heard, especially when their alleged abusers held significant influence and control over their careers and livelihoods. With the rise of social media and the greater public awareness around issues of abuse and exploitation, victims now have platforms to share their stories in ways they didn't before. The #MeToo movement has shown us that there is strength in numbers, and we're seeing that play out here as more and more individuals step forward to speak out about Diddy's alleged behavior. But let's get to the heart of it. What could happen to Diddy if these allegations are proven true? From a legal standpoint, the consequences could be immense. If these accusations are substantiated, Diddy could face serious criminal charges. These could include sexual assault, exploitation, or even trafficking, depending on the nature of the evidence. The legal process for such charges would involve an investigation, likely by both state and federal law enforcement, given the scope of the allegations. This would include gathering testimony from victims, reviewing any physical evidence, and potentially looking into the locations where these alleged events took place. If criminal charges are brought, Diddy could face a long and grueling legal battle. On top of criminal cases, there's also the possibility of civil suits. Victims might sue for damages related to the emotional and physical trauma they endured. Civil suits often accompany criminal charges in high-profile cases like this, as victims seek compensation for what they've suffered. And it's not just Diddy's personal fortune that could be at risk. His businesses and brand could take a huge hit as well. Companies and brands that he's associated with may distance themselves, and his public image, once that of an untouchable music mogul, could crumble overnight. The fallout from these allegations would likely extend beyond the courtroom. Diddy's reputation, his business ventures, and his entire career could be permanently damaged, especially if the legal process leads to convictions or settlements. Even without formal charges, the sheer volume of accusations could lead to a loss of trust from fans, collaborators, and the public at large. The entertainment industry has always had a complicated relationship with scandal, but in the age of accountability, it's becoming harder for even the most powerful figures to escape unscathed when serious allegations like these come to light. So when did all of this allegedly happen? The timeline of events is critical in understanding the gravity of the accusations. These incidents allegedly took place over several years during Diddy's infamous parties and behind the scenes of his thriving career. Some victims claim they were flown to major cities like New York, Los Angeles, or Miami for these parties, where they were promised career opportunities or mentorship, but instead found themselves in dangerous and exploitative situations. These events reportedly date back years, raising questions about why law enforcement and other authorities didn't intervene sooner. According to some reports, victims tried to report their experiences but were met with resistance or had their cases dismissed, which only adds to the troubling narrative that powerful figures like Diddy may have had ways of silencing their accusers. The locations where these alleged events took place also add complexity to the case. Because the parties reportedly occurred in multiple cities, possibly even different countries, the legal jurisdiction could be tricky. Each location where an incident occurred may have had its own set of laws and procedures, which could either complicate or streamline the investigation. As the investigation continues, one thing is clear. The entertainment industry may never be the same again, and the fallout from the scandal could change the way we think about fame, power, and accountability for years to come. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our latest updates. Do let us know your thoughts in the comments section, and we'll see you guys next time.